Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. Today's topic is going to be late nights. This is episode 93. Once again, guys, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Hey, if you're new to this podcast, my name is Chris. I'm your host. What we do every week is on Tuesdays, we do Real Talk Tuesday. And on Fridays, we do Storytime Friday. Real Talk is basically, I just think of whatever topic I'm kind of inspired about that night, or just something to, just a random topic. Sometimes it could be something really, really, really inspiring. Sometimes just, like today, for instance. Like, I guess because of my sleep level, it's just basically late nights is today's topic. Might cover some other stuff, but hey, But on Fridays, because I'm a writer and also a storyteller, when I started doing Storytime Fridays, I would try to find time on my days off or whatever, and would try to be able take time to sit down with my computer and actually literally write, come up with a story and write one out. But because of my schedule, there's a lot of times where it's really hard to find time to actually, take a few hours, sit and actually write a story. So what I started doing, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks back, might have been longer, is I started doing it what I call freestyle, which is basically I hit record and I come up with a story off the top of my head. I wing it. And at first when I did it, I was kind of I wonder, I don't know how good this is gonna be. But then I would, after the episode or post, of course, I would go back and listen to the episode, make sure everything sounds good, And so I'd hear my own story, and I was like, okay. Kind of surprised myself a little bit, So lately, that's what I've been doing, and every time I record a story, it ends up, afterwards, I'm thinking, I hope that sounded okay. I hope people like it. And then I listen to it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's surprisingly good, actually. But yeah, that's basically what we do. And so to throw a few things out there, one of my Rural Rico that I mentioned to you guys in the last episode, he is currently working on his basically kind of like an introduction, the introduction part of his next episode. That's basically the first one he's done in a while. But it's still that podcast that I told you guys about, the one that he stopped 6 or 8 months back. But he's getting back into it, like hip hop and rap, and basically he does his own content and stuff, creates his own beats, his own music. So blodgettshow.com/Rico, RICCO. And it'll take you to his Spotify podcast. Definitely check him out. His new episode, the first new episode since I don't know how long it's been, like 6 or 8 months or longer. But his first new episode coming back will be like either Friday night or Saturday morning, I believe. That's what he was telling me earlier. So definitely check out the ones he's got up there. He's got quite a few episodes up there. They're all really good. I'm that's why I was kind of bummed when he decided to not do it anymore. And I was like, ah, man. He's like, I think you're like one of the only couple listeners I have, man. And I'm like, yeah, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. So like, when he said he was thinking about coming back, I was like, hey man, if you do, I was like, I'll mention, I'll create a extension or create a page on the podcast website that will redirect to his show, so that way I can, try to help the brother out, So definitely go check him out. LodgeShow.com/Rico, RICCO. But today's topic of late nights, as of this week's kind of been, it's one of those things where I normally wouldn't work graveyard shift. Normally if I'm doing the route I normally would do, but I haven't done it in a couple months. Usually when I did it, was like I was leaving the hub by like 5. I would get to Farina, Illinois, like 9 o'clock. And then I would usually get back by like 3. Like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Not too bad. I'd get home by 4, get to bed, be able to get plenty of sleep, have a couple hours to hang out with the fam. But then when they pulled me off and they switched it to, I was told it was being switched to 9 a.m., but I believe from what I've heard, it's been leaving the hub by like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And so like I did, because I've done it a few times, but I guess whoever's running it, they were able to do it. So, hey Chris, I'm gonna have you do Farina today. Oh cool, all right, So I would basically leave between 2:30 and 3, and I would get back by like 1 a.m. Which feels kind of weird because I'm so used to getting back by like between 3 and 5. Like even 5 a.m. isn't even that bad. But getting back at like 1:30, I'm like, wow, okay. It's like it's still too early for me to go to bed especially because I have random work shifts where I'm working nights. So I still try to stay up, and that way I'm not like getting up at like 11 or 12 and then basically up for an entire day or whatever because I go to work at 9 or 10 at night, depending on what they got. Now, if I'm on a set run, then that's one thing. Like, I'll actually, hey, I'll go to bed earlier, because if I'm working the same shift every day, then that's fine, But I try to plan it out, almost half expecting that I'm gonna be put on a night run. So it's like, yeah, it's fun times, But ooh, man, I'm tired. So, but today, actually yesterday, because I kind of go, I think it was Friday night into Saturday morning, I was basically going to be doing a double Huntsville. And, it's Huntsville, Alabama. So I came in probably about, I was supposed to be there by like 8 as far as at the hub, but then they didn't have anything showing up as an active load on me, so I didn't leave. I waited, and they got it on me, so I didn't leave Nashville till like 9:45 with the load. I got down to Huntsville by like midnight-ish, 12:30. I think I left there about 1:30 with the net, because I had to drop at 2 locations, set up empties to come back up, and then so I got back up to Nashville by like 3:30 in the morning, 3:45, 4 o'clock, something like that. And I didn't have anything assigned, so I was like, well, I thought I was doing another load, but hey, if I'm not, I'll go home. Because I was tired at that point. I was like, I had a lot of those moments where I was like drinking water, and just turning the cool air on because I was kind of zoning out, you know, because I'm way near that tired. So I was like, yeah, I need to get home. But I got back and I was like, well, I'll wait a minute before I just log off and, you know, park the truck. I'll wait a minute because my luck, I'll get home and they're like, hey, we put that other load on it. Oh, I went home. Sorry, you know. So I thought, well, I'll wait, you know. So I hung out for about 15, 20 minutes, just kind of hanging out in the truck. And then I thought, well, let me go ahead and top off the fuel. You know, might as well, you know. So while I was fueling, my phone went off, and it was the line haul office. And he said, hey, Chris, hey, yeah, I got the load on you. I was like, what load? He goes, the Huntsville. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll do it. Because I was still at the hub, so I thought, well, I can't exactly decline it now, because my boss will be able to look and see, well, you were still in the truck, you're still logged on duty, you had hours, why'd you decline it? Because I didn't want to do it. Because I wanted to go sleep. But by the time I left with that load, I think it was like 5:45, you know, especially when I'm tired, it takes me a little bit longer to set up doubles, because I'm taking it a little bit slower, because I don't want to screw it up, you know, do something like either hurt myself or do something to get myself fired, you know. So I take it slow, gotta be slow and steady, you know. And so I left with that load 5:45. I got down there probably about like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then basically got back to Nashville, I think, by like 10:40, 10:45, 11. So I was gonna get hours back by like 9. I got to bed by like 12:30. Because I thought, well, I'm gonna go take a shower. Like, you know how it is when you take that hot shower to try to de-stress and try to just, all right, I need to relax so I can actually sleep. So it was like hot shower, just relax and whatever. Got to sleep by like 12:45. Set my alarm for like 7:45. Figured, well, I'll try for at least 7 hours. So that way I could get up, maybe accomplish a few things, you know, do some stuff for the side business, you know. I remember my alarm going off, but then next thing I know, I'm looking at my phone, realizing that it's 9:45. Still had my phone in my hand from when the alarm went off and I had taken it off the charger, but I'd fallen back asleep and I still had the phone in my hand. It was just laying on my chest. I'm like, huh, oh crap. Got up, grabbed something to eat really quick, got ready to go, and I probably left. I think by the time I left Nashville to head over to Lebanon, so I was taking get loaded with 2 trailers from Nashville to Lebanon. So I got those trailers, got everything set up. Got over to Lebanon probably by like 11:30 or so, 11:45. Probably got loaded with that next load. Basically, I was taking a set of doubles, one of them going to Kodak, one of them going to Knoxville. Basically means you bypass Knoxville, and then you drop one there, drop the dolly there, and then you come back towards Knoxville, and then you drop that one there, and then of course they're gonna have you hook up to 2 trailers there to come back to. The plan was to come back to Lebanon, and drop the 2 trailers and bring it back to them, get 2 other loaded trailers, and head to Clarksville, drop the back trailer, drop the dolly, and then continue on to Nashville and be done. I basically got within 10 minutes of the Lebanon terminal, and my boss basically contacted me and basically said, I'm going to have them reroute you straight to Nashville because it's already 9 a.m. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, so what? Don't drop these trailers at Lebanon. Just go ahead and turn around and go to Nashville. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Or yeah, let's go ahead and call it a day because it's already 9 a.m. Yeah, I figured it'd be late because I didn't get started until like 10 o'clock or so last night. So he's like, yeah, I'd say call it a day. I'm like, all right, cool. Not gonna argue. It's like, because I was expecting, being that it's 9:30 right now, I thought, all right, but I got started so late last night, I actually caught a little extra sleep because of the fact that I basically fell back asleep. I guess it was my body telling me, like, yeah, you're not waking up right now, go back to sleep. So I was like, all right, yes, sir. But, so, I was already planning I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get home till like noon. But he wants to send me home early, I'll take it. I'm not going to argue. That just means that, I'll actually be able to get home and maybe I can go crash for at least a decent number of hours, get up mid-afternoon, and not because if I'm getting home at like noon, I might be able to catch like a 3 or 4 hour nap because I don't want to be up, be asleep too late, because then if I'm staying up till like 3 or 4 in the morning like I normally do, I still won't be able to go to sleep because I'll sleep too late, So I basically gotta do what I gotta do, at least getting home earlier, that makes it a little bit easier. Today is technically one of my days off, so I hate when I get home too late on Sunday, and then I think one day I got stuck at a way station. And so I didn't get home until 5 on Sunday when I'm normally like home like 5 a.m. on Sunday. That day I got home at 5 p.m. and I went took a 4-hour nap, got back up at 9:30, and then stayed up the rest of the day, or stayed up the rest of the night, till like 4 or 5 like I normally do, and then crash, get up at like 1 or 2, But that day I didn't really, I didn't really feel like I had a day off on Sunday because I got home so late, went to sleep, and was up for a little bit, was kind of chilling out. But then Monday night, on my actual full day off, Monday night my boss tried to call me in. I was like, no, can't do it, sorry. I was like, I haven't been, like, literally today's my only day off. I was not really off yesterday because I got up at 5, so yeah, I think I'm gonna, I think I'll pass on that. But I mean, if he tries to call and I'm able to do it, then I'll be, yeah, okay, let's go, But that day I was like, I haven't been off yet. Today's my only day off, so yeah. But so really, really late nights kind of suck. I'm not really I am a night owl, but I don't like to do graveyards. I don't like to be up the entire night into the daylight hours when it's like 10, 11, 12, and you're finally getting home going to sleep. I mean, it's not so bad on a Sunday because I know that technically I can get up and I'm not like getting up going, all right, I have to get a couple things done because I have to go to work. I can get up and, get a couple things done and hang out with the family, It's not the end of the world or whatever. So versus like on work days, it's like I get up and it's like if I get home really late, then I'm literally getting up, getting ready for work, grabbing something to eat, and taking off because I gotta come back to the truck again, Perks of the trucking, of the trucking profession. That's why we can't say it's like when having like a conversation with somebody, and let's say somebody says I work, like let's say they're in a, like, every job is different. For instance, somebody that clocks in and puts in like 40 hours, okay, they say to somebody like me, for instance, I work just as hard as you do. My argument to them is I'm not going to say that I work just as hard as you, just like I'm not going to say you work just as hard as me, because one, I put in more hours, but that's not even the argument. I would say my argument would be I can't say I work as hard as you, and you can't say you work as hard as me, because neither of us does what each other does. Like I don't do your jobs. I don't know what I don't know what that entails. So and you aren't a professional driver, so you don't put in the 14-hour days, the 500-mile days, whatever. Yeah. Car drivers might automatically think like, well, like I know how to drive. Like driving's not that bad. Well, it's different when you're in a tractor trailer. There's a lot more stuff you got to do, and so like driving a car is nothing. Like I can go out. It's probably why I became a trucker. Because back when I was with my ex, we would take trips from Texas to Nebraska all the time, and I would be the one driving. It was like a 13-hour drive, and I would drive the whole way. And like, we had to stop every hour because my now ex-wife and her mom would both, like every hour, we need to stop. We gotta pee. I'm like, well, quit chugging your drink then. Come on. I was like, we're never gonna get there at this rate. So, but yeah, it's like just always been able to drive, but driving a car that distance, pretty simple. You literally just set your cruise, just cruise along, obviously just pull over to get gas or whatever, get some food, whatever, get back on the road. When you're trucking, yeah, you are doing that, but you're still you know, there's more to it. Like, for instance, you gotta hook, like, the getting loaded and unloaded. That's why if I were to ever, just, you know, decide to switch from my current job, I don't know, because I love FedEx. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to leave. But part of me thinks if I did leave and I took a different job that's not FedEx, that I didn't do doubles, if I did just single trailers, like a 53-footer, I think about that and I go, you know, in a way that actually sounds pretty good because, like the idea of only hauling one trailer, that actually sounds pretty good to me. But that's only because I've been doing so many different random loads past, like, you know, couple months. And some days it's pretty intense. Other days it's like if I can do one set somewhere and then drop it and then set up another set to go back, it's not that bad. You know, one set there, one set back. Okay, I can live with that. All right, cool. You know, but when I'm going from like Nashville to Lebanon, I'm taking a setting up a set of doubles, running to Lebanon, dropping that, and then setting up another set of doubles to go to Murph, dropping that, setting up another set of doubles, and then back to Lebanon, and then another set of doubles. And from there going to like Knoxville or whatever, it's like that, or even going to the double Huntsville night. Like if I could do a double Huntsville trip, like I did on Friday night, but it's all singles, like either one pup or one 53-foot trailer, then it'd be really easy. I could literally get in there, get hooked up, get everything, all the pre-trip stuff done, you know, the pre-trip inspection, all that stuff. A lot easier when you have just one trailer because you literally just grab and go, except, you know, minus like a you know, 10 to 15 or 5 to 15 minute walk around, making sure, checking everything really quick, making sure tires are good, do all your photos, and go. But when you have doubles, you have 2 trailers and a dolly that you're doing all that to. Takes a while to hook them up, then you got to go through all the other stuff. So it's like, I would rather work with one trailer all the time, but when you're driving for FedEx, though, you gotta, you know, that's just not gonna happen. Like, you're gonna have, some loads are gonna have one, and others are gonna have 2 trailers, so it's like, okay. But why I'm not really a fan of that double Huntsville is because usually it's doubles, so it's like four sets of doubles. So we're already talking 8 trailers and 4 dollies. Not hard to do, but it still kind of sucks. Especially when it's like really late at night, like one of them might dispatch at like 3 in the morning. So then it's like 2 hours down, 2 hours back, so we're already talking 7:30, 8 o'clock before I get back. And so that ends up being, again, part of the topic, you know, the really late nights, you know. And so one thing funny about being on the schedule is, like, I joke with my wife that it's almost like a permanent condition of like being brain fried, you know, because like we'll be home and my wife will be trying to have a, you know, very serious conversation with me, you know, wanting me to communicate back with her, of course being upset that I might not be communicating as much as she would like not talking as much, and I'm like, love, I am so brain fried, almost like on a permanent basis because of all the late nights. I'm here. She's like, are you though? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I may not be able to, you know, give you the answers that you want because, like, I'm basically just doing my best to keep it together. Because, you know, when you're working really late nights and stuff, for me, it just, like, mentally, you're there, but, you know, you're not, you know? And I don't know if some of y'all can relate out there, because, like, like I've said, I'm a night owl, but I don't like graveyards. I don't like to be up all night and then basically go to bed during the daytime. Kind of not really a huge fan, you know, so. But yeah, so that's, and when I guess I can turn this episode into a little bit of a lesson too, for late nights, especially in the driving profession. They usually say try to avoid driving between, like, I think it's like between midnight and I think 6 a.m. if you can't avoid it, because that's called like that's the most dangerous time of night, you know, because basically during that time, like, automatic your body's, you know, thinking, hey, like, I should be asleep, and so you gotta watch how you feel, because you know, some people go out and they'll still try to drive even though they definitely don't feel like they can. Like they feel like overly tired to the point where they probably shouldn't, because they're gonna just, if you wreck a car, that's one thing. You know, like obviously you don't want to wreck your car, but if you wreck a tractor trailer because you fall asleep, you got a big truck, you got a 53-foot trailer, or a set of two, I guess, like a set of two 20, I think it's 26-foot trailers. So with the set of doubles, I think I'm longer than I am when I have a 53-footer behind me. But got, you know, if one of those wrecks, then they could probably take out however many cars around them in the process and kill a bunch of people. You know, and that's one of the big dangers out here in trucking. Anyways, we're dealing with drivers that can't drive. And that's not just car drivers. I know there's tractor trailer drivers that basically aren't very good out here either. There's bad apples everywhere and stuff. So it's just, you know, important to be really careful, especially if you drive around that time of night. And, you know, listen to your body. Obviously, you know, I have had occasions where throughout my career where I got, I wouldn't say ordered, but I had basically got requested to do a certain load, I guess, that happened to need to be picked up at like 1 a.m. and then drive all night to get it there. And I basically said, no, I'm not doing that. Like, why not? We really need your help. Like, yeah, but that's a graveyard shift. I'm already tired. I'm not going to do it. Like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. You know, sorry to hear that. You know, like, oh. And I've told new drivers, I'm always telling them, I'm like, you guys, like, they're like, do you have any suggestions, like, any advice for us? I'm like, yeah. I was like, don't let the trucking company walk all over you. Like, put your foot down. You know, tell them if you're not comfortable with something, tell them you're not going to do it. Like, if they want you to run overnight and you're not comfortable working late hours of the night, then put your foot down and say no. I was like, they're not going to fire you. They need you. Like, they need you more than you need them, because there's a shortage of drivers. So, like, most of us out here, we can literally, like, leave one driving job, as long as we leave it, you know, on good conditions or on good terms. We can leave and probably the following Monday be in orientation for another company, you know, because there's always a need. Like, they can't seem to keep good drivers out here, as a lot of drivers will get their trucking license, and then they'll get involved in a big wreck or something because they're putting their feet up on the dash while they're driving, or they're have a laptop on the dash or whatever. So it's like, we should all be coming out here, whether we're driving a car or a truck, and we should all be thinking safety. You know, we should all be thinking, okay, how do I get out here and do what I gotta do and then get home? And so, like, there's days where when I worked really late nights, that night that I got stuck at the weigh station because, you know, there's an issue with the truck that I notified my boss about, but he hadn't gotten around to being able to take care of it yet. I was basically trying to make it back to Nashville so they could take care of it. Before I could get there, I got pulled into a weigh station and it got shut down. So I was like, yeah, not my fault, because it was a new truck. It was a truck. Actually, it's the truck I'm in now. But when I first got in it, the guy that was in it, he had a few things that he broke on it, I guess. And one of them I didn't realize, because it was an air leak that when you only realized it when you're pressed on the brake with the brakes released. But with the brakes set, and you didn't notice it. So you can test your brakes, you know, while you're sitting there, or check to make sure your air doesn't leak or whatever. And it would be fine, but then, like, you release your brakes and you come to a stop sign, and that's when you notice, oh crap, it's leaking air really bad somewhere whenever you apply the brakes. But when it's only you can't exactly apply the brakes and then just walk around the truck and figure out where exactly it's leaking. But I got pulled into the weigh station, and immediately I'm pulling up there, and I'm putting my foot on the brake to slow down the on the scale, and immediately you're hearing the shh. No, crap. State trooper did a little U-turn inside the the scale area and parked right beside me. Walked up to the catwalk area, and it had 2 leaks, I guess. It had because I kept having to raise the airlines up off the catwalk because that would come loose and come back down. I'm like, so I kept raising it up, and I guess one of those airlines had a little bit of a like a graze kind of, so it had a little bit of a leak going on, but there was a big leak up underneath the dash or underneath the hood of the truck, down near one of the tires or whatever. Like a connection had come loose, and so they had to come and basically I got shut down. Had to wait there for a repair guy to actually show up. That took a couple hours, so I was just kind of sitting in the truck. Like I'd been awake 27 hours at that point. By the time I got home, I walked in the door, and my daughter looks at me. It's freaking 5 o'clock the next day, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, I'm going to take a nap. Cause I was like, they're like, I'm surprised you're. When I got up after 4 hours, like, I'm surprised you're awake. I'm like, I'm surprised I made it back to Nashville. Cause that's how tired I was, Then you got people, they're in a lane right next to me that's ending, and I'm going, so I guess I'll get over so you can come over here, because they're just like hovering, lane's ending, they're not even trying to either back off or get in front of me, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to speed up or slow down, I was in this lane first, so. But, so, gotta be careful working those late nights, gotta pay attention to your body, gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know how I don't know. I honestly don't know how I've been doing it, especially this week, because I've had some really, really, really late nights. And yet I get back inside, and of course I walk in the door, and I get told by the wife and the kids, Dad, you look like crap. I'm like, I feel like it. So, but, that's why I'm always talking about doing what I gotta do until I can do what I want to do. And so, with the side hustle, to kind of close this episode out for you guys, because I know we've been going for about 30 minutes. It doesn't feel like that because the trip from Lebanon back to Nashville it's pretty quick. Like it's around a half hour, 40 minutes, which is kind of, I'm not complaining, because I was planning to be picking up in Lebanon, going to Clarksville, then back to Nashville, and my boss told me, just call it a day. I'm like, all right, I'm not arguing. I was like, I'll get back home earlier, it's all good. Means I'll be able to enjoy more of my day off tonight and stuff, but get the adult beverages and chill out with the fam, and, do the 1 to 2 hour, of work for the business, so, but yeah, so, in closing this out, again, if you're looking for, if you guys are into, like, hip-hop, rap, especially somebody that creates their own, because, like, Rico does an amazing job with his content creation, with his music, and he does, like, when he does his podcast, it is, like, a lot, I guess the right word I could use would be fancier, like, a lot more productive, a lot fancier than what I can do, because I'm usually doing my podcast while I'm out here actually working as well. So I do it from my phone with my headset, But he has an actual setup at his, in his house or whatever, with his computer and fancy equipment or whatever. So he actually does, like, it's basically where I plan to be whenever I'm able to fully retire myself from the truck and be home full time. I'll be working on the podcast, make it more productive, more official, sounding even better than where I've gotten to right now. And you guys would know what I'm talking about if you go back and listen to the first, 10 to 15 episodes. I did edit them and try to update them, to make them sound better, because I know when I first started, I don't think I sounded very good, but so I went back and edited, tried to make them sound a little better, but still wasn't. It still didn't do a whole lot, but they did sound better at that point, just not as, compared to where I am now. If you go back and listen to like episode 1, and then you listen to like the current episodes, you'll be like, holy crap. So if you don't want to go back, I don't blame. That's all good. You can, if anything, I'd say go back a few months, like last 3 or 4 months, because that's when I started doing the Real Talk Tuesday and the Storytime Friday combination, each week. So I think you guys would enjoy that. There are quite a few stories that have been written already, or stories in general, because I haven't been writing the last couple stories. I've just been freestyling them. So, but definitely go check out Rico's podcast, blodgettshow.com/Rico. It'll forward you to his Spotify, because that's where he does. That's literally where I think he uploads it to other places. But the one I have is basically Spotify. So blodgettshow.com/Spotify. Go check it out. See what you think. Leave him a 5-star review. Let him know that that way he knows you were there. But his new episode should be posting is a returning back to the glory or whatever episode will be that was me making that up. I don't know what he's gonna do. This is me tired, guys. But his next episode is introduction or reintroduction. It'll be like Friday night, Saturday sometime. So just I would recommend go start at the beginning and listen to the episodes from all his entire podcast, because I think you guys will enjoy it. So for anybody who wants to learn how to be able to earn online without any prior skills, any prior experience, especially people who aren't technologically inclined, not good with technology, maybe you have no idea what to do. You can learn what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. These programs actually teach people how to start earning while they're learning, and how to actually grow their following from zero, and basically start earning when they never have before. So check it out, blodgettshow.com/freedom. Put your email address in there and reply back to my email with any questions you have. But on that note, I appreciate you guys. If you like, and of course this is me doing my best, because I'm like, hey, cool, I'm at the end of my day, ready to head home. But of course, still doing the double grind, triple grind, because trucking, podcast, and online business. But if you like what you hear and you would like to support the show, go to blodgettshow.com/support, and there's an option for a one-time contribution, and there's also an option for a monthly, for as little as $1 per month. Every little bit helps. I know the plan. I do plan to do some updates with podcasts, like merch and all that stuff, as we progress. But I know, obviously that takes money and stuff. So it's like I'm kind of growing as best I can with what I got. So if you want to support the show, blodgettshow.com/support. As always, I appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. But on that note, I really appreciate you guys being here. I keep saying, keep being positive, keep believing, keep pushing forward. Believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. But you guys have an amazing rest of your night and an amazing rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you guys again on Friday for Storytime Friday. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.